definitely ethics. Thank you for your patience. It's my request to everyone to please switch on your cameras. In the dance of choices, ethics sway, guiding our steps along the moral way. Truth beacon shines in darkness or light. In every action, it whispers what's right. Embrace the challenge, embrace the fight. In the arena, shine your brightest light. On this stage, you will make your mark. In every moment, ignite the spark. With every hurdle, let your spirit embark. For greatness awaits in the journey you embark. Believe in yourself, let confidence bloom. In the face of pressure, dispel all gloom. With determination as your broom, sweep away doubt, let victory loom. Good morning, esteemed judges, talented participants, respected teacher in charges, and dear spectators. I, Monica Call, have the honor of welcoming you to day one of the Northern Command Inter APS Ethics Bowl on behalf of Secretary of the event, Mr. Sanjeev Kumar, Principal APS Udhampur. APS Udhampur is truly honored to be the host for this event. We sincerely appreciate our Northern Command for entrusting us with this opportunity. I extend my gratitude to Mrs. Asha Suchindra, the Regional President our Northern Command, for her initiative in organizing the Ethics Bowl 2024. Without further ado, let's commence the proceedings. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, and beloved participants, we are honored to have with us a panel of distinguished judges who will not only evaluate the performances but also inspire us with their wisdom and experiences. Let's take a moment to acknowledge and praise their invaluable contributions. Now, allow me to introduce our distinguished panel of judges for today's event, starting with Major General Prithi Singh. I'm honored to welcome our esteemed jury member, Major General Prithi Singh, a distinguished individual with a remarkable career in the Defense Forces. Sir has notable accomplishments spanning various roles and responsibilities, including representing the Indian Army at the National War College, USA, and serving in diverse international missions. Additionally, his leadership roles in institutions like the Queen Mary Technical Institute and the Paraplegic Rehabilitation Center underscores Sir's commitment for the care and rehabilitation of soldiers disabled in the line of duty. With Sir's extensive experience in education management and involvement in prestigious academic committees, his insights are invaluable to our event. We are honored to have you, sir, as part of our jury panel. Sir, would you like to address the team? Over to you, sir.
It's indeed quite a privilege to be here amongst all of you today. I must say, I was extremely pleased when I was offered this opportunity of being amongst you and participate in this ethics board competition. I know there are a number of fora where we bring together academia and include our young budding citizens to interact and exchange views. And therefore, it was a wonderful opportunity for me to be participative in something so unique. I am indeed privileged, and I look forward to being as contributory and receptive to the interaction that is going to follow and all the exchange of views that I'm sure is going to flow from one side to the other. Welcome to all, and I look forward to a wonderful opportunity to get to know some more intuitive and considered thoughts on the part of all participants. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Your words of encouragement and support is incredibly motivating. Meet our next esteemed jury member, Mrs. Madhvi Tripathi, who holds a remarkable academic profile. Currently, she is serving as the principal of Lucknow International Public School. With an illustrious career spanning 25 years in education, she has held key leadership roles in renowned institutions such as G.D. Goenka and Dr. Virendra Swarup Educational Foundation before assuming her current position. She is not only the principal of Lucknow's premier international school, but also an advisory member of the Sports Academy Association of India and an active participant in the Education Quality Foundation of India. Recognized for her scholarly contributions, she has numerous research papers published in esteemed national and international journals. Her dedication to education has earned her prestigious accolades like the Avantika Atal Bihari Vajpayee Samman and the title of Most Dynamic Principal by the International United Educationist Fraternity and Aesthetics International. Her dedication extends beyond administrative roles. She has been honored for her contributions to corporate social responsibility by the Pahal Foundation and has showcased her creative talents through the direction of the acclaimed short film Agle Janam Mohe Vidya Hi Kijiyo, featured at the Agra Mahotsav. With a diverse background in education, training, and leadership, she has organized and led numerous skill development initiatives, CBSE trainings, and mentorship programs, including her selection for the prestigious CBSE SCORE mentorship program. Her impact on education technology is evident through her involvement in reviewing CBSE training materials on the CBSE Reading app. As a respected figure in education, she has conducted over 500 workshops, authored publications, and served as the keynote speaker at prestigious conferences, sharing her insights on fostering curiosity in the children. Her dedication to education, coupled with her extensive experience and achievements, positions her as a valuable asset in the realm of education and training. We are honored to have you as a jury member. Ma'am, would you be willing to impart some valuable success strategies to the participants today? Over to you, ma'am.
Very good morning to the lovely participants and all the respected jury members that we have on the panel today. But it is indeed, as Sir has also said, it is indeed a proud privilege for all of us being a part of Ethics Ball, which is no doubt the need of the hour. And at such an early stage, when students are being, put on a platform where they are actually thinking for, and you are giving them a food for thought on these grounds, that is commendable. For this, I would like to congratulate the AWWA Northern Command for creating and coming up with such a beautiful thought, that this is something that the students really need to give a thought for at this stage. And as it is rightly said, that without ethics, man has no future. And indeed, giving this thought at this early stage of life is commendable. From my side, I wish all the luck to the wonderful participants and teams which are coming up. I wish them all the luck. I know that they should just keep in mind that ethics is knowing the difference between what you have a right to do and what is right to do. So, on those grounds, go ahead and plan the entire strategy, strategize how you have to work on it, and wishing all the people lovely out, all the competitors, all the very best. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Your guidance will significantly enhance our students' understanding on ethical principles. Now, our next judge on board is Mr. Matthew K. Thomas. Sir is a mathematics educator in Don Bosco School, Alaknanda since 1996. He is an education consultant to India Today, Zee News, Aaj Tak, Orient Black Swan, HarperCollins, Orange Slates, and Career Launcher, and is the author of many books, which includes Gaming with Mathematics series and Redefining Education, Vision for a New India. He is a CBSE moderator and NCERT master trainer since 2010 and has conducted more than 100 webinars for educators across the world. He is the founder of AIEF, that is All India Educator Forum, which has 30,000 members and is registered under the UN Partnership Platform. The work done by him was recognized by the UN for his immense contribution in FTG4 and was awarded Best Educator in Asia Pacific region consecutively for 3 years, that is 2021, 22, and 23. Thank you, sir, for gracing us with your presence. Sir, would you like to offer some insightful ideas or strategies to our participants? Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the introduction. And I have, in fact, spent my entire life with youngsters. It's always a pleasure to interact with youngsters. I am myself in a school teaching, and also I teach educators because I am also a CBSE master trainer, as mentioned in my profile. So it is always about education. And today, when I'm interacting with young kids from your schools, it is always going to be something where I also learn something, because every meeting, every session, we also take back something. It is always not about giving. So the learning happens both ways. And the strategy should be simple, that believe in whatever you say. You should be convinced of what you're saying. And I think that makes your voice more powerful than speaking out something which you're not convinced. So I want to wish all the participants all the best. And I'm sure it's going to be really, really interesting. And both the teams that are scheduled for today are going to do a good job. I'm sure they're well prepared. And all the best. So thank you to all.
Thank you, sir. I express my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed judges for their willingness to share their time, expertise, and insights with us today. Moving ahead, for our inaugural ethics board session, we are kicking off with day one, match one, featuring representatives from APS Srinagar and APS Kanpur. Now let's invite each team to introduce themselves individually, starting with APS Srinagar.
Warm greetings
Sorry.
Warm greetings to my respected delegates and judges. My name is Aisha Faraz from 9P and I'm here with my teammates from APS Srinagar. I would like to start from my left.
Good morning, everyone. I am Advait Sandeep from Class 10 Science. Good morning, everyone. I am Kashi Pishan from Class 9A. Good morning, everyone. I am Divya, Class 10B. We are very grateful for you to provide us with the opportunity to participate in this competition.
All the best, team APF Srinagar. May you surpass your own expectations and achieve more. Next up, it's time for our second team, APS Kanpur, to step forward and introduce themselves one by one. APS Kanpur.
Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, are we audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
A very good morning to one and all present here. My name is Ashar and I'm one of the speakers for Team APS Kanpur.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sarthak Gupta and I'm from class 12 Commerce.
A very good morning to everyone present here. I'm Anirudh and I'll be the speaker for Team APS Kanpur.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Saksham Mukherjee and I'm a researcher for Team APS Kanpur.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Ishita and I'm the researcher for APS Kanpur. A very pleasant morning to everyone. I'm Astha and I'm a speaker for Team APS Kanpur.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Good luck, team APS Kanpur. May your hard work and dedication pay off. Now, moving ahead, the selection process for the presenter and responder team will be determined through the Wheel of Fortune. The team selected as the presenter will be referred to as Team A and will be presented with Case Study 1. The other team will be referred to as Team B and will be presented with Case Study 2. So let's spin the Wheel of Fortune. Well, our presenter team will be APS Kanpur. Judges, please take note that Team A is APS Kanpur and likewise the second team will be APS Srinagar. So our Team A is APS Kanpur and Team B is Srinagar, APS Srinagar. Playing the game with integrity is not just about following the rules. It's about honoring the spirit of fair play, respecting your opponents, and always striving to compete with honesty and honor. To ensure a smooth process, here are the rules for the presentation session. Each team will be given 8 minutes to present, including answering the ethical question put up by the moderator at the end of the case study. The reminder bell will be given after 6 minutes and the final bell will be given after 8 minutes to sum up the case. After that, 1 mark will be deducted for every minute excluding the time limit. The other team will be given 4 minutes to confer and 5 minutes to comment. A bell will be rung at the end of 5 minutes. The other team is also required to ask a question, maximum of 2 questions to the presenter team post their commentary. The presenter team will be given 4 minutes to confer and come back with their answers. No cross-questioning by the other team is allowed. The presenter team is required to answer the questions put up by the other team within 5 minutes. The team can decide whether all members will speak or only one member speaks. A reminder bell will be rung at the end of 5 minutes. After this, the judges will ask 1 question each. They are allowed to cross-question the presenter team members. The presenter team will get 4 minutes to confer and get back with their answers. Once the next team starts, the same format as the one mentioned will be repeated. So I hope all the rules are clear to everyone. APS Srinagar and APS Kanpur?
Yes, ma'am.
Well,
Yes.
Yes, for today's stage 1, match 1 will be Mrs. Shikha Atri. She is one of the moderator of Ethics Bowl 2024 from APS Udhampur. Welcome, Shikha ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Well, now team A, APS Kanpur. Now I will read your case study. The title of your case study is Regulation on Social Media. Social media regulation is a complex issue that involves balancing the need for free expression with the need to protect users from harmful or offensive content. Social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter have become ubiquitous in modern society and have transformed the way people communicate, share information, and interact with one another. However, the unregulated nature of these platforms has also led to a rise in hate speech, misinformation, and harassment, which can have serious consequences for individuals and society as a whole. Finding a solution to this problem requires a multifaceted approach that includes education, policy changes, and technological innovations. Government regulation of social media is one possible solution, but this raises questions about the role of the state in regulating speech and the potential for censorship. At the same time, social media companies also have a responsibility to self-regulate and ensure that their platforms are safe and secure for all users. Ultimately, achieve a balance between free expression and responsible regulation is key to promoting a healthy and democratic online environment. Now, the first question to Team A, APS Kanpur is, what are some of the challenges associated with regulating social media and how can we ensure that any regulations are effective and equitable? The second question is, what are the ethical considerations involved in regulating social media and how can we balance the interest of different stakeholders such as users, companies, and government? Team A, APS Kanpur, you have 8 minutes to present your case and your time starts now.
The more social media we have, the more we think we are connecting, yet we are really disconnecting from each other. With the words of truth by artist Jean Rene. A very good morning to the respected jury, honorable moderator, and my fellow competitors. Social and media, one defined as companionship or friendship, and the other meaning channel for propagation. But together, they led to something which was as great as Archimedes' Eureka or Newton's apple, a revolution which linked masses into a web, a development which transformed the way of living of the modern man, and a spark which ignited a whole new fire of boldness, rights, and work life. Social media has now become synonymous, or better, engraved in the world spectrum.
As even Williams stated, we have to find a way to make sure that technology that's liberating doesn't replace our freedom with more control. In this era of modernization, social media helps us talk directly to our customers and prospects without having to go through the traditional media channels of TV and newspapers. Social media helps you gain real-time valuable insights about your target audience so you can better tailor and customize your key messages and differentiations. It can be used as a platform for societal change as social media can provide quick access to information and research and can be a real-time news resource. Social media can facilitate social and political change and can be used for civic engagement, such as fundraising and social awareness. But even with all its benefits, cyberbullying, exposure to inappropriate content, and online predators are major social media concerns that evoke strong emotional threat. Many users feel angry and frustrated with social media companies for failing to effectively moderate harmful content, such as hate speech, misinformation, and harassment. There is a sentiment that these companies prioritize profit over user safety and well-being. The rise of social media has been linked to increased rates of depression, anxiety, and other mental health issues, particularly among youngsters. There is a concern about the negative impact of social media on users' emotional well-being and self-esteem. Online harm, hate speech, and misinformation can have real-world consequences on individuals, marginalized communities, and democratic processes. Addressing these social media regulation challenges will require ongoing dialogue, collaboration, and a willingness to adapt and evolve as technology and society needs a change. Lastly, don't use social media to impress people. Use it to impact people.
Ladies and gentlemen, our online interactions have transformed remarkably over the past decade. While these platforms have revolutionized communication, they have also presented a significant legal challenge that we must navigate carefully. While the Article 19(1) of the Indian Constitution gives the right of freedom of speech to all the citizens of the country, the Article 19(2) allows the state to impose reasonable restrictions on the freedom of speech to mitigate spreading of hate speech, misinformation, and harassing comments via the social media platform. In 2021, the Government of India introduced the Information Technology Rules aimed at regulating digital content and ensuring accountability of social media platforms. These rules require significant social media platforms to enable traceability of the information and take down content upon receiving any complaints. The Government of India can ban any type of information that might be misleading or hate speech as given in the Section 69A of the Information Technology Act 2000. The IPC section of the Indian Constitution provides for all kinds of hate speech that might happen on the social media platforms. Like I say, like the section 295A that penalizes speech that outrages the feeling of any class. The section 499 and 500 provides criminal punishment for defamation. The girls who face harassment in these platforms can report and charge these harassers under the IPC section 354D and 509 that deals with words, acts, or comments that in turn to insult the modesty of the women. In conclusion, addressing the challenges posed by social media regulation requires a nuanced and balanced approach. The ubiquity of platforms like Facebook and Twitter underscores their significant impact on communication and information sharing in the misinformation and harassment on these platforms, which highlights the urgent need for effective regulation. A multifaceted strategy encompassing education, policy reform, and technological innovation is essential to tackle these issues. While government regulation offers a potential solution, it raises concerns about the state striking the right balance between free expression and responsible oversight, which is crucial for fostering a healthy and democratic environment. And as stated by Mark Twain, and I quote, "A liar can travel halfway around the world, while the truth is still putting on its shoes." Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Now we rest our case. Now, answer to the moderator's question. The problems faced by the government in today's time are as follows. Firstly, the large user database, which makes it difficult to monitor harmful contents. Secondly, anonymity, which gives rise to hate speech and discrimination. And it is very difficult to find the main culprit behind the anonymity, which is displaying the hate speech on social media platform. And thirdly, the lack of transparency and accountability in the social media companies on their interface to regulate harmful content. Now, I would like my fellow teammate Anirudh to take on the answer from me.
Thank you, Ashar. Now, to make it equitable and effective, alert and balanced legislation should be optimized, engaging in multiple stakeholders, including civil society, the companies, and the public in the policy-making process, ensuring restrictions are proportionate, necessary, and aligned with the democratic principles. International cooperation should be adopted, working towards international agreements on minimum standards for social media regulation, and developing mechanisms for international cooperation in addressing cross-border problems and content, transparency and accountability, implementing regular audits for social media platforms to ensure compliance with the regulations, and requiring platforms to publish transparency reports detailing content removals and policy enforcement actions.
Thank you.
Well, Team APS Kanpur, your articulation was impressive with intense factual support. Now, Team B APS Srinagar, you have 4 minutes to confirm. Following that, you will present your comments and pose a maximum of 2 questions to Team A, that is APS Kanpur. Please pose both questions together, and your time starts now.
बूढ़ी
Team B, APS Srinagar, your time is up. Please be ready to present your comments and post your questions to Team A. You will be given 5 minutes to do so, and your time starts now.
बूढ़ी हो गई नन्ही आंखें, आ गया चश्मों का दौर, डब्बे में बंद खेल खिलौने कर रहे हैं वो बचपन के। Thank you for your valuable insights, Team B. Now, I just wanted to elaborate on the points which you missed. The ethical issues concerned with social media. First is data collection. Social media can collect a vast amount of data, which can be misused, and the user do not know till which extent it can be misused. The second is spread of false message. False message and rumors can spread very fastly and very easily on social media. And the third is addiction. People who get addicted to social media can experience a change in their behavioral patterns, such as the sleeping pattern. Now, Aisha will ask the questions.
As mentioned in the case study, the question asked was, what are some of the challenges associated with regulating social media? I did not quite understand if you even mentioned any challenges. So I would like you to elaborate on that.
And is how would you feel if your parents, if anyone, or even the government, for example, went through your chats, your private data? How would you feel?
Excuse me, Team APS Srinagar, your second question was not audible
At all.
Yeah.
I repeated. How would you feel if your parents or the government went through your chats, all of your private data? That is an example of how would you feel and how would you react to it. And now I would like to pass it to Idris, who would like to give us another point.
Thank you for your valuable insights. You have opened our eyes to new concepts that we may have not noticed earlier. But
You're not audible. I'm so sorry to interrupt. You're not audible.
The people who are asking the question to speak into the microphone, because we are also not able to hear your questions.
Exactly.
Students sitting inside, you are not audible.
Hello. Are we audible now?
You are audible.
Yes. Shall we repeat our questions again?
Yes.
Thank you.
बूढ़ी हो गई नन्ही आंखें, आ गया चश्मों का दौर, डब्बे में बंद है खेल खिलौने, कर रहे वो बचपन के शो. Thank you for your valuable insights, teammate. Now, I just wanted to add some points that you missed. The ethical concerns with social media are as follows. First, data collection. Social media can collect a vast amount of data, and the users cannot know till which extent their data can be used. Second is addiction. People who get addicted to social media can experience a change in their behavioral patterns, such as the sleeping pattern. And third, spread of false message. False messages and rumors can spread very easily and quickly on social media. Now, Aisha will talk about what about the questions asked.
One of the questions posed in the case study were, what are some of the challenges associated with regulating social media? I don't think that you answered this properly, and I would like you to elaborate on it, because as we know, making a democratic online environment is really hard, as well as juggling the fact that we need to have censorship as well. So what would you do in this situation? And second question, or if any of your family members, or maybe even
You're again not audible.
So our second question is, how would you feel if either the government, your parents, or any of your friends or family members went through your phone and chats?
Unmute. Bachi, you are not audible. Can you please repeat? You are not audible, beta.
Yes, ma'am. Our second question is, how would you feel if your parents, any of your family members, or your friends went through your phone, through your chat, and how would you react?
Bachi, you can change your mic. It's still not clear and audible. Can you please change your mic?
Can somebody else speak that question for him? Because I think, you are, please repeat the question. Yeah.
What's the first question?
You are fine. We can hear you.
First question.
Okay.
The second question, which was asked by Advait, is what would you feel if your family members or even the government went through your chats, went through all your personal information in order to see if you are causing a disturbance within the democratic online environment or not? Wouldn't you feel bad about it? What would you do? I would like to pass it on to you, please.
Thank you, team, for your valuable insights. Your comments
Can't hear.
has opened the eyes to the various kinds of social media can show.
The time is up.
Ma'am, we were not able to hear the question properly.
Third question.
Third, yeah. Ma'am, we got the first question and we got the second question half and the other thing that he.
Can the team put the question on the chat, please? That will be easier.
AK Srinagar, can you briefly repeat your question? Can you briefly repeat your question number 2?
Question number two. Question number two, okay. So the question number 2 was posed by Advait, and he is asking that what would you feel if the government or your own family members went to your chats, went to all your personal information to find out whether you're being a nuisance in the democratic online environment or not? What would you feel?
Team A, I hope your question, now the question is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
You have 4 minutes to prepare your answers. And your time starts now.
Thank you, sir.
Srinagar, for your valuable comment. And now I would like to elaborate on what you said that you couldn't get about the challenges faced while regulating social media. So first of all, I would like to say that India is a very diverse country. Everyone has their own set standards for what's objectionable and what's not objectionable. So
Maybe Ankur, we have not started the timings. Could you please wait for 1 minute? Once again.
Yes, ma'am. Sure. Yes, ma'am.
As you know the rules, you will be given 5 minutes to answer, and your time starts now. Now you can start.
thank you, Team AP Srinagar, for your valuable comment. And now I would like to answer your first question, as we couldn't get that what are the challenges faced when we are regulating social media. So first of all, I would like to say that India is a very diverse country and everyone has their own set standards, what's objectionable and what's not objectionable. So that poses a struggle while regulating social media. Also, we need to maintain a balance between free speech and content moderation. There are always reasonable restrictions on what we can speak and what we cannot. We can do criticism, respectful criticism, but we cannot straight out say inappropriate things to a particular person or party. Also, I would like to say that there is global reach and cross-border jurisdiction. That is, that different countries have different set of standards for ensuring what they will be posting or what are the, what will be on their social content on the social media platform. So that also poses difficulty because there is no uniformity in what will be on the social media platform. Lastly, I would like to say that there's there's so much content on social media that it's very difficult to see all the comments, all the postings, and everything. What's right, what's wrong. That also poses a very challenge while regulating the social media. Now, the answer to your second question, I would like Ashur to continue.
Thank you for the question. Now, answer to the second question is that, as we all know, the main objective of our Indian Constitution is democratic socialism and to provide justice and equity distribution of all the resources. Now, in a country where India has the largest population, we know it is very difficult to provide justice to each and everyone individually. And as you mentioned, how would we feel if we know that the chats are being seen by the government? Now, let me tell you that keeping eye on that, we have started a program which clearly focuses on maximum governance and minimum government. Now, I would like Anirudh to take on the answer from here.
The freedom for expression and the freedom for speech is one of the probably the most important article in our Indian Constitution. Yes, we have the freedom to speak as we are speaking with you guys and conferring. But everything, as said by our study, has reasonable restrictions according to the Article 19(2) of the Indian Constitution. So, for any person to judge and any person to feel that their privacy has been breached, it takes a lot of courage. Yes, it takes a lot of courage to undergo that challenge and undergo that threat. But now you have to be strong enough and bold enough to face the consequences of it. And the fact that you have taken advantage of the freedom which you have given. Now I'd like to pass it to Sarthak here.
I would like to state a case that happened in Maharashtra. In Maharashtra, the police arrested a man who posted on the Twitter or any social or other social media platform. He posted something against the government, and the court gave verdict on the favor of the person who said, and the government said, the right of freedom is the right of freedom of speech is the right of every person. And if any person feels that their right is violated, they can directly go to the court and and start a case against the government. Thank you.
Thank you, Arun.
Teammate, there's still 1 minute left. Would you like to add any more points or should I proceed?
Ma'am, no, ma'am, you can proceed. Thank you.
Okay. I must say that was a wonderful deliberation of thoughts by both the teams. Now it's time for the judges' questions. May I request our first judge, Major General Prithvi Singh, to pose his question to Team A, APS Kanpur.
Thank you. Of course, you got me back on parade a little earlier since they didn't have any points to add to the time they still had with them. Well, the pitfalls of social media, I think, have been amply sort of understood, fleshed out. But therein lies the challenge where you not only need what you're trying to communicate, you need connectivity. And I think we had a bit of an issue with that while we were having this exchange between the two schools. So therefore, you're conveying a message, but perhaps it is not being understood in its entirety or in the manner that you're trying to convey it. So that in itself highlights the issue that is under discussion. So therefore, it raises some very thought-provoking thoughts. I would say the challenges have been understood and well fleshed out. What we must remember, it's not an ideal world. And therefore, there is a requirement to balance very conflicting, ideas, thoughts, and requirements by various stakeholders. Now, let's see. I'll try and put you in a situation where you will be at two ends of the spectrum, and I'd be very happy to see how you would sort of respond to both of these. Now, obviously, there's a need of some regulation, and everybody's concerned with it. Society, and more importantly, the government who's got to undertake this. Now, put yourself in a position where tomorrow the government puts together a task force and says this is an issue, regulation of social media, its content, its dissemination. How do we tackle this challenge? And if you are made a member of that task force, what would your response be to some of the things that I have just listed out for you? Your thought process, your stress and balance between legal and ethical provisions, how you would balance trust versus faith. Where would you draw the line? And therefore come up with valuable suggestions that can be suitably incorporated and implemented for us to have regulation provisions that shall take care of this dilemma that faces us as a society, as a country. Now that's at one end of the spectrum. I will get a little personal now. You take on the role, and this is something that's very commonplace. You perhaps are not at the stage where you could fit into the role of a parent, but you could be a mentor, a guide, a friend. And you see somebody from your group in whom you see certain bothersome changes in their behavioral pattern. So obviously, they are being exposed to certain amount of inputs of the social media, which is not going down well with their sense of balance, maturity, well-being. What would you do to ensure their mental and emotional equilibrium? I trust I've been able to give you, my mind and flesh out some of the challenges that we see as related to this topic. And I'd really look forward to how you would respond to these two. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Team A, you will be given 4 minutes to confer and come back with your answers. And your time starts now.
No, you're not audible.
You're on mute.
APS Kanpur, you can start.
Thank you, sir, for your question. Thank you, sir, for your question. Now, taking the approach of first end, where we are assigned as the task force officer. So, sir, as we all know that no democracy in this world is perfect. And to cure the ills of democracy, which can be only cured by more democracy. So, in my opinion, we can implement some transparent policy, such as by in social media platforms, we can assign grievance officers, which and separate mechanisms so that 24/7 harmful content can be moderated. And there are several provisions so that the nodal services of social media platform having physical presence in India can tie up with law enforcement agencies so that harmful content can be regulated and the violation of any freedom of speech and expression cannot be violated. Now I'd like Anirudh to take on the answer from you.
Thank you, Asher. So you had rightly said about thought process of being at such a high level and such an important yet new task force which has been made. Me as a member or us as a member, if we see that our thought process should be based on seeing all around us. We ourselves use social media such as WhatsApp for so many things, and regulating this is a very big task. And our thought process should be to take in whatever inputs as we can and see to that we are able to execute a perfect situation for the users. So what we can do is, due to the differences in perceptions and due to the vast diversity of the country, perspective can be different. People can take one thing as offensive, for the other person it might be a boon or a joke. So what we can do is, in different regions or states or social groups, different officers can be set up. As a member of the task force, we can set up different officers who can understand the people's perspectives and get to know what are their issues, and we as a task force can handle those issues and take care that we are able to address them, and there will be harmony all around us. The line is between us, we as a task force, the people and the company. This line should be maintained by all of us, and then only we can see that even in the future, social media will not be a curse. It will be the greatest boon which will be for modern man. Now, for the second question, Asthari would like to say.
So definitely, you have said correctly. When something conflicts with our perception and what we have been believing, we feel a sense of betrayal and self-doubt. We feel undetermined by whatever we were believing before. But these negative feelings, where are these negative feelings emerging from? These negative feelings are emerging from the low self-esteem and probably some kind of peer pressure that people feel when they are online or on social media platforms. They become insecure and may probably become a victim of cyberbullying also. As a mentor and guide, I would suggest my friend to not doubt themselves and to inculcate positive changes in their behaviors and not follow everything that's on social media blindly without certifying what if it is true or not. Also, I would guide them on the correct path. Now, I would like Anirudh to add on.
Thank you, Asani. We say that observation is the best way to learn. For our friend who has undergone so many changes for the past few days and being at such a high level, what we can do is we can help him or her interact with other people who have also been affected in such case and such diseases. As kindly mentioned, is internet gaming disorder is one such disorder which has been affecting lots of people. What we as people can do as a friend, we can do is that we can give him, as rightly said by Asadi, we can give him as much as sympathy as we want. And we can also check his phone to see what is causing him, even though he may feel that it's a breach of his privacy. But friendship is something which will go in times of need. And we as friends have every right and every duty to do so, to keep it normal. At last, I would like to say that for being a friend or being in a task force, we should in the end be a human being and see that all human beings around us are living in the same harmony as we. Thank you.
May I request our second judge, Mrs. Manvi Tripathi, to ask a question to Team A, APS Kanpur.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. And it was lovely listening to these wonderful students. But then, with around 62.3% world's population, that uses social media with an average use of 2 hours, 23 minutes. 83% of law enforcement personnel also use social media to conduct all their investigations. With all of this, and apart from that, the ironical part is we are talking about the credibility and the restrictions on social media and its usage. uh, in education also, now the social media is playing a big role. I want you students to think what's the role uh, that ethical design practices you can design and construct for an education system, so that these students know how to use social media. So I want you to come out with few points and answer me that what's the role ethical design practices will play while using social media platforms, and especially in reference to the education system.
May, I hope the question is clear to you. You will be given 4 minutes to confer and come back with your answer. And your time starts now.
Ma'am, may I start?
May we start, ma'am? Ma'am, the clock is not visible.
If Kanpur, you can start with your comments.
Ma'am, the clock is not visible.
Sorry, which is not visible?
The clock, the timer.
Beta, for judges' question, there is no timer.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
You can take your time.
Okay, ma'am. So, thank you very much, ma'am, for your question. So, first of all, I would like to say that definitely social media has many positive impacts also, like you have stated, in education, in investigations, and different things. So, I would like to say that in the new education policy, we have included many such provisions which inculcate digital literacy in children. Like in our school also, APS Kanpur, we have subjects like AI and IT, which engage students in learning about how to use social media and technological devices for creating a positive impact on the society and for the future. Also, we conduct workshops and create a supportive environment so that children can understand that how we use social media for creating a positive impact in today's modern society. Now, I would like Anirudh to continue my answer.
Thank you, Asami. Now, for students, it's a stepping stone. Social media is a stepping stone to get into the digital world. And for that, we can create the concept of digital citizenship, where we, as people, can encourage students to know more about digital literacy, as said by the digital concepts about hardware, software, and the very basic which is required to get into this kind of technology. And this can help the students gain more knowledge as possible. Now, as a personal experience, in my mother's unit, that's the defense, they used to conduct seminars for young children so that they could see in a fun way in the projector screen, and they could get to know more about cyber security, cyber bullying, and various viruses, threats like such as Trojan horse and worm. And they could get to know about what is the basic concept and what kind of maturity you would require to get into the digital world, even at such a tender age. Now, I would like to pass Sarthak Bhaiya for the final. Yeah.
I would like to say, social media have both pros and cons. We should focus on promoting the pros and demoting the cons, because in the long run, social media will be the most important thing and the most powerful thing. Many steps are being taken, as my fellow teammate Asta and Anirudh stated, like the NEP, etc. With this, we would like to close our answer. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Students, thank you.
Now, would you like to cross-question teammate?
Yeah, I would love to, because what I raised my point was, what is the ethical design structure that they can really make for the students, because they are using social media. The schools are also now a party to it, because there are a lot many things, there are a lot many research works that they have to do using the digital platforms. So what is the ethical design practice that you can create, or ethical norms that you can create for the usage of social media as far as students are concerned and the education system is concerned? So any specific things, because you have targeted and told me about awareness, digital literacy workshops being conducted, cyber security and cyber bullying awareness, but apart from that, is there any structure of an ethical design practice that you can create for the student?
Over to team Kanpur.
Can we get time to confer?
No, beta.
Thank you so much for the cross question, ma'am. And we are really sorry that we missed that point. For anything we are to do, be it sports, studies, or academics, we need an ethical structure which was clearly stated by you. We need to follow a certain moral values, we have to follow a certain ethics, rules, and we have to go based on it. or else it will be difficult for everyone around us and it will be difficult for us as well. For any person, digital privacy is a very important concept. And as rightly said by Asadi, in our school, we are taught in AI that we should never ever breach anybody's personal privacy. And this is kind of the most important and basic step for any student or any person dwelling into the social media horizon. This kind of ethics base, all we can also say the theft. Theft is something which has been common in modern day, be it theft using in online or be it theft directly by gaining somebody's files, content, etc. for our gain, be it capital or monetary. This should be regulated, and this should be the duty of every single student that they should not get into such malpractices. Now, Satya would like to continue.
Ma'am, we can take many steps like conducting regular audit of the platform, of the social media platform, and checking what are the basic things that the people are searching, and also regulating them and then spreading awareness on the basis of that. Now, I would like Asha to carry on.
Ma'am, as in a school now, it has now been started from class 8. There will be classes equipped with only and only laptops. There will be bagless classes. So we are more focusing on that, and that this is a new step towards creating a digital literacy among the students since young age. And the ethical implications and the ideas that we're going to like to inculcate among the students is that we're going to focus on bagless classes, and we are going to focus on to develop more a good technology so that that particular technology knows about the pros and cons of a child.
Now, ma'am, a very important point that I would like to add here is that as you're stating about the ethical issues, then I think there's a very big responsibility of the teachers and also the parents to supervise the children about how and what they are doing on the social media platform, what site they're visiting, or even if they are meticulously studying or they are just, doing it, just skimming around and not diving into the information. Also, we can inculcate or improvise devices which are primarily focused on education. They have apps which are only focused on education and do not have other kind of social media as which can distract the children. Thank you.
Ma'am, are you satisfied with the answers?
Thank you, ma'am. Very well answered. Thank you so much, students.
Fine. May I request our third judge, Mr. Matthew K. Thomas, to ask his question to Team A.
Yeah, good afternoon to all. My question is very simple and straightforward. Now, today's generation, if you see, are more on digital platforms, whether you see Facebook, Instagram, and it's like sitting in the classroom is becoming difficult because the youngsters today are used to the instant gratification that they receive on social media, and that's why the reels are becoming so popular, and the span of attention is also going down. Now, when we talk about regulation, now there is a delicate balance that has to be maintained. So I have two questions regarding that. Will stipulating the norms, if somebody is giving these norms, there is so much of creativity also on these social medias. Now there is anytime, anywhere learning possible. You can attend any courses from anywhere. There is so much of learning that is happening, which was not possible 5 years back. So considering the pros and cons of digital media, so how do you think the regulatory body can, really control this? And how can it be controlled? That's question number one. And secondly, also, do you think that, there are so many content creators on social media who are doing a lot of good work, and we get to know so much on social media. So, the balancing act is what's the difficult part. So what steps do you suggest in going forward in creating a digital media or digital platform where the learning is more and, the content which is discriminatory or intended to any illegal activities becomes less? Of course, it's the need of the hour. We cannot remove social media from our lives. So considering the importance of social media, how do you think that what will be the best practice of regulating this whole thing so that the whole platform is viable for more learning and more creating a more positive environment. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Team A, you will be given 4 minutes to confer and come back with your answers. And your time starts now. Team A, your time is up. I hope you're ready with your answers.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, to answer the question, there was a study that was held in India that was related to the algorithm of different countries. It was a study of algorithm of USA and algorithm of China. In USA, it was seen that the algorithm promoted irrelevant and different activities to the children. But in China, the algorithm promoted things like future, motivation, and getting better at your studies. these types of things. So from this, we have also seen that the Chinese people are more into engineering, doctoring, and other things that help building the nation. But in USA, other things are happening, and it is having a very negative effect on the country. So we can see from this example that algorithm plays a very important role in regulating the social media. So the first step should be regulating the algorithm of Indian social media, so that we can control, and also it have a very positive impact on the students. The second step would be the parental control. The parental control should be introduced on the social media platform, that the parents know that their child is on social media, and the parents know that what their child is doing, what their child is searching, and what their child is messaging, and what their child is seeing also. So parental controls are very important to regulate social media. Now I would like Ishita to take on.
One aspect that we can work on is tech companies and government, NGO and parents collaboration, which could lead to which could help to enforce stricter regulations on content and provide safer online environments. And another thing which we could work on are positive online communities. We could work on promoting participation in positive and constructive online communities that foster learning and growth.
Now, answer to the second question, sir. As we all know that the main objective of tech companies and bigger companies is to earn profit, but that is not the only objective of the business. So, keeping aside that obligation, there lies an obligation towards the consumer as well. Because if they don't understand the consumers, their competitor will. So, the following measures can be taken in order to suppress the use of social media and A-rated content, adult content. Firstly, proactive messaging and remove of harmful content. They should use advanced algorithms and AI to detect and flag the content. And we can also collaborate with like law enforcement and mental health organization to identify and track dangerous trends. And now the most important feature, that is user education. Internet giants should run campaigns to educate users about such spread of awareness, and so that they can ensure that the child is not only surfing the internet but also implicating better studies. And the age appropriate content, implementing strict age restrictions and verification measures can be also taken. Now I'd like Anirudh to take the answer further.
Thank you, Ashok. Sir, you had talked about a balance between the good creators and the bad creators. We are very thankful to the good content creators that we are able to learn so much about their lives, what they have done to social media, and how they have affected our daily perspective to everything these days. And they are actually a very, very big boon to our current life development. Yes, bad creators and bad content has become a very, very bad situation for young children, be it teens, adolescents, people just going to the 20 age and above. Actually, sir, if we see that the main cause of this is that people who create such bad content, or even children who are getting into anxiety, is that they are not able to gain the attention which they want to gain in social media. They want to live up to some expectations which their users and which other people they see in social media see. They want to create. They want to show other people that their day-to-day work, whatever they are doing, in the end to get entertainment and attention. This balance should be stopped. For children, these children and especially adolescents, we should teach them that attention is not everything. You might gain attention, but it did not change what you really are. So you should not run after success. Success will run after you, but you should not try so hard just to gain that one single fruit of attention, success, and in the end, removing the balance between good and bad.
Thank you.
Thank you, Team APS Kanpur. Sir, would you like to cross-question Team A?
No, ma'am, that's fine. Thank you.
Fine. The depth of research and critical thinking displayed by Team A is truly commendable. Now it's time for Team B, AB Srinagar, to present their case. Team B, I will now read your case study. The title of your case study is Deadly Games. Over the past few months, an internet game has been blamed for deaths of 5 teens across the nation. In the game, different tasks are given to the participants. The tasks are self-harming in nature, including carving and cutting oneself, making different shapes, and writing certain letters, standing on the edge of the bridge, punishing oneself and vowing to become a whale, talking to other whales. Several secret tasks are eventually committing suicide. There is demand by parents to ban such suicidal online games. Suppose you are a senior authority in Ministry of Women and Child Development, then your first question, Team BAP Srinagar, is, in your view, what is moral responsibility of internet giants like Google, Microsoft in such situation? Your next question is, highlight the role of family and school in persuading children to avoid such deadly online games. Team B, you have 8 minutes to present your case study. And your time starts now.
People inspire you or they drain you. Pick them wisely. In a world where technology advances every single day, all kinds of people have the access to do, say, or try anything that they want. Now, one such circumstance can happen like the deadly game mentioned in the above case study. Young people are the main consumers of social media. They still have developing brains and are easily fooled and manipulated by anything they see online. They will not second guess anything and will digest everything that they see. Statistics from the Stanford ED and Body Image Survey say that 97% of children as young as 12 are now on social media. Can you imagine the impact it might have on them? Internet is a deep rabbit hole filled with great musings and fun to borderline disturbing content and cruel individuals. Something like this has happened in the past before. In 2016, the Blue Whale Challenge was a game consisting of tasks assigned by administrators. It started off with simple elements, but soon started bringing in self-harm, and eventually the participant had to kill themselves at the end. Investigation by Ivana Berg, working for the Team Medusa, says that in Russia alone, more than 200 suicides were caused by this game. Every journey has its final day. So, moral responsibilities of internet giants like Google and Microsoft is to restrict the searches of these types of harmful games because the young audiences don't know where to look for right and wrong. They are people who think that freedom just lies in scrolling and freedom only just lies in having their phone in their hands, which is exactly why parental guiding is super duper important. Parents are to tell their children the differences between right and wrong, and they are to tell them how to manage themselves on such a dangerous area like the internet. A man is only free when he is forced to be. Now, Kashi will present to you the facts about this case.
चिंता चिता समाहियुक्ता बिंदु मात्र विशेषता सजीवम दहते चिंता निर्जीवम दहते चिता. It means that only a dot separates chinta, worry, from chitta, funeral pyre. Otherwise, they are said to be the same because worry destroys a living person and funeral pyre destroys a dead person. Ladies and gentlemen, the ethical issues involved in this case study are as follows. First, addiction to such games. Statistics shows that mostly teenagers are addicted to such games because they have a developing mind and they can get easily influenced by anyone or anything in order to become cool or get popular on social media. Second is self-harm. After getting addicted to such games, the participant can do whatever tasks the game asks for. Initially, these tasks are not much harmful, but with time, these tasks can be fatal, and in the end, the participant is required to take his or her own life. The third ethical issue is cyberbullying. These games are not easily accessible. These are found in the dark sides of the internet, the dark web. Once you have started playing the game, you cannot quit any challenge because the participants are being threatened and cyberbullied to complete the tasks. A study shows that more than 6 children in India from the age group of 12 to 19 have taken their lives by playing such games. At the last, I would quote some words of Bhagavad Gita. Uddhar Atmanatmanam नात्मानम् अवसादयेत् आत्मैव्य atmano bandhur atmaya ripura atmanah. It means that one should uplift oneself, one should not degrade oneself, because we are the friends of ourselves and our enemies too. Now Idris will walk you through the real life example.
Thank you, Kashi, for those valuable insights on self-harm society. Dearest delegates, it pains me to say this,
But
but
you're not audible.
dearest delegates,
Still not audible. Change your position. Perfect.
dearest delegates, it pains me to say this, but people all around the world have suicided just because one selfish developer wanted some money and fame. So what? 200 sisters, 200 brothers, 200 sons, 200 daughters left this world because of one person who has developed this game. And to prove my point, am going to quote some examples of children all over the world who have suicided just because of this game. For example, from the country of the developer, 3 people from Russia have suicided. 2 are Yulia Konstantinova and Veronika Volkova, who jumped side by side after completing the game's tasks at the same time. In India, from our own streets, Manpreet Singh of the age 14, and a 17-year-old girl from Tamil Nadu, a 16-year-old boy from Kerala, all of them suicided. Not only this, both in the North and South Americas, we have noticed that in United States and Brazil, Isaiah Gonzalez, Maria del Jesus, all of them also suicided. Not only this, China, Argentina, Kenya, Saudi Arabia, this game was an infection that did not stop until the countries took various measures to stop this infection. How this can be promoted is a topic that Advait can brief you upon.
Am I audible? Judges, am I audible?
Bache, can you be a bit louder?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, am I audible now?
Bache, change your mic or change your position. Adjust your mic.
Now, thank you, Idris, for showing us the sad and sorry state of children, friends, sisters, brothers around the world.
Not audible.
Thank you, Idris, for showing us this. Ma'am, is this audible now? Ma'am, is it audible now? Thank you, Idris, for showing us the sad and sorry state of friends, brothers, cousins, and sisters around the world thanks to this one selfish developer. Now, as the case study regarded us as a senior authority in the Ministry of Women and Child Development, our course of action is as follows. We would force companies like Google and Microsoft to vigilantly oversee and regulate their platforms and remove such content from them and stop such content from even coming on. Now, this necessitates some stringent content moderation protocols and leveraging sophisticated algorithms to root out and remove such hazardous material and forging alliances with authorities to combat emerging menaces. Now, the role of family and school in persuading children to avoid such deadly online games are cultivating avenues of transparent dialogue, dispensing counsel on prudent internet practices, and instill resilience against stress and peer pressure. Now, all of this will be useless if we ourselves as children do not protect ourselves from this, from happening. Now, we would like to end this case with a quote. A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. We would hereby like to rest our case.
Well, kudos to all the participants for showcasing your insightful and thought-provoking arguments. Now, Team A, APS Kanpur, you have 4 minutes to confer. Following that, you will present your comments and pose a maximum of 2 questions to Team B, that is APS Srinagar. Please pose both questions together. And your time starts now. Steven, your time is up. Please be ready to present your comments and post your question to Team B. You will be given 5 minutes to do so. And your time starts now. Over to APS Kanpur.
Thank you very much, Team APS Srinagar, for your beautiful presentation. But I would like to highlight a few points which you have missed in your presentation. First of all, you have not mentioned about the psychological impact on the teenager especially, and what kind of disorders and mental problems it causes, like the internet gaming disorder, which affects the teenagers adversely in today's modern times. Also, I would like you to elaborate on the parental control on these kind of games when the child is playing these games, and how the stakeholders, that are the teens, the government, and the parents, are involved in in reducing such kind of deadly games and the effects.
Team APS Srinagar, I would also like you to mention a little bit more on the legal aspects. For example, the IT Rule 2021 and also the IT Acts and the Schedule 69A, which tells about blocking such type of games and threats. And also there is a body called PEGI, Pan European Gaming Industry. Interference, which gives a particular rating to specific games about how harmful they are to a particular age group.
And now the questions.
And my question to you are, as we are aware, banking is one of the primary structure of economic life, has its first step as KYC, know your customer. It involves methodical verification of new account holder. Can such a provision be added to online games as KYU, know your user option? And my second question is, changes requires intervention, which requires a strong mind with stern willpower, but this strength can prove as a weakness to someone else. How can we ensure that our interventions do not inadvertently glamorize or draw more attention to these harmful games, potentially increasing appeal to at-risk teens?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, some very good points brought out by Team A. Now, Team B, you have 4 minutes to prepare your answers. And your time starts now. Team B, camera off. APS Srinagar, your camera is off. APS Srinagar, can you switch on your camera? Thank you. Team B, you can present your answers now. You will be given 5 minutes to answer.
Thank you, Team A, for your wonderful questions. Yes. Thank you, Team A, for those insightful questions. Now, I will be presenting a short commentary on this. Now, you asked what would be the psychological disorders. A person who wants to commit suicide or who has been forced to commit suicide easily, he has psychological problems. It has been ingrained in him. Now, the parental controls. How much can a parent control what their child does? That is impossible because you cannot control what I do. A parent cannot always control. He cannot always be there. He cannot always say everything that I do. And the legal aspects, they are almost non-existent, as this is a matter between a parent and a child who is controlling who. Now, I would like to pass the mic on to Aisha, who will be answering your questions.
Thank you so much for your insightful questions, Team A. One of you mentioned how we're not talking about psychological disorders like gaming disorders, but I just like to ask you, this type of game which is mentioned in the case study is not like the games we play on a regular basis. They are not like Minecraft, Roblox, or anything else that we indulge ourselves in. They're rather orchestrated by administrators who want to cause harm to people. It happens in internet chat rooms. It's not a game which can be played physically. It's not a game which is played by your computer. This is something that you should understand. Now, it's the fact that games and you asked, the first question was, can KYC be added? Of course, KYC is already available in so many online platforms like Roblox. It asks you for two-step verification. And if you're not convinced already, Roblox also requires proper identification of people above the age of 18 in order to access voice messaging and other programs. This means that is in these types of games, which they already acknowledge the fact that violence and other things can also happen, they have proper measures to control it as well, which means that even if a game does not, then they already know that their cyberspace and area does not have a lot of violent or other means of content. So they will obviously not take action in those parts. But Roblox is such a vibrant area, and games like Roblox also exist, and they have two-step verification there too. Now you ask, what if they draw more attention when we're trying to stop all this from happening? I'd like to tell you that this is a case of self-policing. When somebody can acknowledge the fact that they are to protect themselves from these types of situations, when they are to protect themselves from these types of harmful occurrences in the program. And parental policing is also really important. A person, you realize that entire thing's freedom is just scrolling on his phone and looking at whatever he wishes to do so. That is not freedom, that is obsession. And that is exactly where parents draw the line. They tell you what is good and bad. But exactly that I said, a man is not truly free if he is not forced to be. If he is not forced to be on the straight path, the right path, then how will he be able to handle himself in the future? Not to mention, national policing is also there. The government, this is not just something that an individual can do by themselves. This is a complex unity of people. United we stand, divided we fall. So as people are divided in these ages, they now overconsume. So the thing is that we all should stand together. And as we're doing in this ethics bowl right now, we're talking, we're conversing, and we're pondering over these topics. It is exactly what schools should do, what parents should do. They should ask, they should converse, they should have conversations about these types of things in order to prevent them from happening in the future. I'd like to rest my case. Thank you so much.
Okay, Srinagar, time is still left. Would you like to add any more points or should I proceed?
And also, there are no legal aspects or prospects in self-harm or suicide, as this has been shown as purely a person's own matter. He has decided to do this by himself. Nobody has forced him, nobody has made him do it. And now I would like to pass this to Idris, who has a few points he would like to add.
Thank you, Team B, for your valuable comments. Your eyes opened us to a new horizon. However, when I noticed that you mentioned KYC, this game, in the Blue Whale game, was developed in Russia, where KYC is not an integral part of their legal systems. So I wonder why you have added this in your commentary.
We would hereby like to rest our case.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Well done, Team B, for presenting your case with great critical thinking and thorough analysis. Now it's time for the judges' questions. May I request our first judge, Major General Priti Singh, to pose his question to Team B, APS Srinagar. Over to you, sir.
At the outset, I must say that I'm a little envious of APS Srinagar for the cool environment that they are in. And my sympathies with APS Kanpur, who, like me, are sweltering in 45 degrees plus at the moment. So, luck to you. The issue under discussion is very live, very worrisome. There are moral, ethical, legal, societal aspects to this whole thing. And I personally feel that it needs understanding, a supportive environment, and alternatives which need to be offered. And I think some of the aspects have been covered in your presentation, the response to the same. However, now I'd like to be a little more focused. Now, there are checks and balances, but obviously they have not proved to be very effective in combating something which can lead to a loss of life. And therefore, one of the things that I feel perhaps that could be undertaken amongst all other legal provisions and all that we talk about are awareness drives. Now, were you given the charge of carrying out something like this with a focus? Your school, your local community tells you, okay, this is a problem, we need to tackle it, and we need to make people more aware, more educated to the pitfalls of this problem. Specifically, who would your target audience be? What would your focus areas be? What would you say would be the contribution of your peers? And certain enforcement measures which you may have to incorporate as part of this awareness drive that comes to my mind to combat this very, very live problem. The stage is yours, Srinagar.
Thank you so much for your question. So
Team B, your time is up. I hope you're ready with your answers. Over to you, Team B, AP Srinagar. You can start now.
Thank you so much for your valuable question, esteemed Judy. Now, I would like to answer this question on behalf of my team. As we said, checks and balances are not always effective. Well, India is a very large demographic. It is a diverse area filled with many people. More than 1.6 billion people are present in India, and a lot of them consume media. Actually, India is the highest consumer of social media and cyberspace. Now, tell me, how can the government individually check on every single person in this nation? It is simply not possible. So I refer back to what I said in the beginning, self-policing. If somebody acknowledges how they should act in social media spaces and what they should do and what they should not do, how they should handle themselves and what is right and what is wrong, then these situations will become much less. Compromisation of life and loss is always there, no matter where you are. It can always not be prevented. The demographic which is mostly present on social media is young adolescents with developing brains. As a survey from the Stanford EDN body survey says that more than 97% of children who consume media are under the age of 12 or 12 to 15. Now you already can see if such young minds are on the internet, we need to make reinforcement measures which will cater to their interests. And as mentioned in the case study previously, it said that we are the senior authority of the Ministry of Child and Women Development, meaning we already have the access to do whatever we can and make enforcements. The enforcement measure that I would like to make is short films. This is something that the army also does. My father himself is Colonel GS IW. IW stands for Information Warfare. He works on the information for the army, makes tweets, makes all these types of posts in order to tell people and make awareness about the programs that the army is holding, as well as what to do in situations of harm. For example, if there's a hacker attack, he can already tell everybody via the internet and via these posts that there is something they should do and the precaution should be taken. Now, in this sense, we could make short films for these children because they will be interested in it. As a demographic really likes to view these types of content. They like to watch movies, they like to watch reels, they like to watch shorts. So in this way, they would prefer to be in this type of, they would prefer to watch these types of things. And that is exactly why I believe this should be, that should be done. And our peers as well, they already know that the effects these types of games are causing on our society and on our youths. So they would stand up and help me make these types of decisions, as I am the senior authority of the Ministry of Women and Child Development. Life is full of ups and downs because flatline is not a life at all. Thank you.
AP Srinagar, it's a request to adjust your frame. The girl sitting behind is not visible.
Could I just follow up with a small am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I think that was pretty well articulated. But I'd just like to add, in the real world, there is no such thing as a freelancer. And for anyone who puts in time, effort, and money is looking to get value for his investment. So such challenges will keep coming up in new forms. we can't wish it away.
Could
So
you
therefore, where would you go up to regulate this? Where would you draw the line? Would you go to the extent of saying just ban such content? I'd like your thoughts.
Thank you so much for your counter question. Now, as you asked, would we go as far as to ban certain types of content and whatnot? If content which is blatantly trying to change the minds of young adolescents into doing harmful things, then obviously it is to be banned. That is a given. But since certain situations, everybody has their own opinions, thoughts, and feelings. That is how the internet works. It is a complex string and web of emotions that people display. Now, the thing with it is, some people might not find our decisions to be correct. But the thing is that every single decision will have an opposition. That is how things work. Every single decision will have people saying that they do not agree with us. And that is exactly where we need to stand our ground. That is how it works. We need to have that type of willpower to stand and say what we will do and try to, because the majority, there might be people who may not agree with us. Let's take the example of Indira Gandhi. She was known as the Iron Lady of India for a very specific reason, because when there were 10 people in her office, if all 10 agreed with her, that's not a strong decision. When all 10 oppressed and said that, no, we don't agree with you, she still stood her ground, which is exactly what made her strong. So in these situations, there will always be oppression, and some people will tell us that, no, we do not agree with you. But in this situation, we are trying to look for the betterment of the majority. And as I said previously, India is a diverse nation filled with many types of people, from young people, adults, to people who have different types of thoughts and feelings, which is exactly why I believe that going as far would be a good decision. So thank you.
Thank you, APS brother. Sir, are you satisfied with the answers?
Well, I guess they put their mind to it, so I'll pass on to the next judge. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. May I request our second judge, Mrs. Madhvi Tripathi, to ask her question to Team B. Over to you, ma'am. Ma'am, your camera is not on. I think ma'am has left the meeting. Till the time ma'am rejoins, may I request our third judge, Mr. Matthews K. Thomas, to ask his question to Team B.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So it's a very engaging topic, because most of the students got addicted to online gaming during the COVID times, right? Before that, it was less. And when the whole education transferred to the online system, when the teachers were taking the classes probably down there, you were playing something else. So that became, now it's difficult for students to come out of it, right? So my question is basically like, okay, gaming is one thing where you enjoy. Nowadays, there are a lot of competitions also being in fact held for online gamings, and online, certain online games are good also in developing certain parts of the brain. But what we are talking about is right now, what happens when, like you talked about the blue whale and some games which is causing self-harm. Now, my question is like, you are all kids going to good schools, and you are getting good education, your parents are following you up. So why is it that the youngsters of today are not able to distinguish between real world and virtual world? What is stopping you to think that, is this, what am I doing is correct, or what I'm doing is going to give, why are we following orders from a social media? What is the psychology behind that?
Thank you, sir, for your question. Team B, you will be given 4 minutes to confer and come back with your answer. And your 4 minutes starts now.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
I think ma'am is back. Ma'am, you can take the next question. You are out of the frame, so I took the question. So you can ask next.
Sure, sir. Okay. Thank you. There was a network glitch, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Please.
My question is, they're already working on the answer. Okay.
Team B, your time is up. I hope you are ready with your answers. Over to you, Team Srinagar. You can start.
Thank you, sir, for a very thought-provoking. Thank you, sir, for a very thought-provoking question. Now, our answer to to the question.
But you're not audible. Change your position.
No. Even though we, am I audible now, teachers?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes. Now, even though we are being taught good things in school, we are not being taught what is the actual difference between a virtual reality and a real and what is real. So we will take orders. We believe that yes, both are real, both are simultaneously real. So we will take orders from each other. We will take orders from a random person who's telling us to do something funny, who's telling us to do like a trick or a prank. Now, I would like to pass this on to Idris to give us an example.
Thank you, Anil. I would like to support our team's presentation with my very own example that I used to be addicted to Minecraft. I would play for about 8 hours a day and not even get tired. And when it was time to eat or sleep, I would just ignore it and keep playing. So this is an example of how the social media and games which we see on the internet are affecting us and how it can it can influence us. Now, how to deal with this is something that Aisha can explain.
Thank you so much for your question. And as you asked us, what are the lines between virtual reality, and what is the psychology behind children who indulge themselves to an extremist level in virtual reality? The thing is that there is two versions of man, someone who he wishes to be and someone who he truly is. Now, when these two things cannot overlap, and they cannot overlap, but as much as man is wishful, he is imperfect. In virtual reality, what happens in this situation is that it allows people to become perfect. It allows them to feel godlike. Like Idrish said in his example of Minecraft, you're able to do whatever you want. You have the power to do absolutely anything. In that situation, you start feeling invincible. Now, because the reason is that these children are now finding solace in the virtual world because they do not feel safe enough to confine with the people around them. This is something we also need to take an account of. When children want to speak their mind, they should be allowed to do so because their ideas and their thoughts alone are what shape the future generation in itself. And that is what causes us to get this blurry line between virtual reality and reality. And this is something, again, that should be talked about in schools and in houses. When they should be talked about in schools, we should learn about how, yes, virtual reality may be absolutely amazing, but what we should realize is that social media is not social at all. It is just individualism. It is something that only we think about, not anybody else. Now, because in reality, we converse with each other, we talk with each other, we think about each other's emotions. But in social media, we just do whatever we want. And that is when the fine line disappears. Thank you so much for the question. And I hope you were satisfied with the answer.
So, would you like to cross question the team AP Srinagar?
No, ma. I think they answered pretty well. Very good.
Thank you, Team Srinagar. Now I request Mrs. Manvi Tripathi to ask her question to Team B.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. As I stated earlier, also more than 40% of the global population is gamer. 62.3% minors, they spend their time online by playing games. So all in all, a USD 3.1 billion industry by 2023 and expecting it to be around 6 billion in 2028. With such a huge industry, do you think that curbing such games which lead to if we curb such games, it will lead to a broadening divide, digital divide, we must say. So do you think we can afford as India such a digital divide at this point of time, or afford to lose this boom? On the contrary, if you were in a position where you can structure the rules, regulations, and directives, what would you focus and emphasize on? Whether it will be business or saving youth's lives. So design your strategies and present them.
Team B, I hope question is clear. Now you will be given 4 minutes to confer and come back with your answer. And your time starts now. Maybe your time is up, and I hope you are ready with your answers. Over to you, AP Srinagar. You can start now.
Ma'am, are we audible?
Yes.
Ma'am, thank you for such a thought-provoking and intellectually demanding question. Now, as you said, your question was, if we curb a game, will it lead to a growing divide? Especially as they are a growing part of economy. I would say no. What we would do is we would create it together. As there are already some games like Roblox, which has over 1 billion users, more than half of which who are minors under the age of 21. Now, as I myself am a gamer on it, if I play for more than 2 hours, the game automatically shuts down. All of its games, all of its chat rooms are automatically blocked. Now, to conclude this, to give us a further oversight on this, I would like to pass the mic to Aisha.
Thank you so much for your thought-provoking question, ma'am. I'd like to answer. You said that gaming has become a huge industry. Yes, it has. And if we were to ban these types of games, and it would cause a drift between certain areas, it would cause a divide, even though it is helping in the economic growth of the country. The thing is that the game mentioned in the above case study is the Blue Whale Challenge or something similar to that. Now, the thing is that this game is not like we think of regular games, like PUBG, like Fortnite, and all of those other things. It is not like that. It is more so our type of game which it happens in online chat rooms, happens through the communication of individuals, like on Twitter, on Instagram. That is where these things occur. And just to say that games in themselves do have influence on people, and of course, games which cause a harmful amount of influence on people should be banned. Now, you say that what would we choose, saving the youth's life or business? Well, if the youth are not saved, then who will be making the businesses that thrive in India in the future? Who will be doing that if we are not to take accountability for these children's lives? Because they depend on us as as the senior authority of the Ministry of Child and Women Development. It is our duty to take care of these children. And also the fact that just as we have made environmentally sustainable goals like SDGs and whatnot, why can't we make why can't we make sustainable gaming goals as well? Because we have created games ourselves. We have made video gaming ourselves, and in the past decade, we have developed it so much. So how can it take control over us when we are the ones tweaking and manufacturing it ourselves? I'd like to now rest my case. Thank you so much for listening.
Ma'am, would you like to cross question the team? Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am. Wow, what an exhilarating competition. Each participant brought forth compelling arguments and demonstrated exceptional eloquence. Thank you all once again. I would like to extend my sincere appreciation to all the participants for their invaluable contribution and thought-provoking discussions. Now we will take 15 minutes break for the compilation of results. Before we go on a 15-minute break, I request all our esteemed judges to send the results in the judges WhatsApp group. Join us again after 15 minutes for the eagerly awaited results. Until then, the presentation segment comes to a close. Till then, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, teachers.
Thank you all for your patience. Before we announce the results, I want to take a moment to appreciate the hard work and dedication demonstrated by the participants. And now, the moment we have all been waiting for, it's time to reveal the results. Without further ado, let's find out which team will proceed to quarterfinals. For the declaration of result, I would like to invite Secretary of the event, Mr. Sanjeev Kumar, APS, Principal APS Udhampur. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Monica.
Okay, sir.
First of all, my thanks and gratitude for all the judges for sparing their valuable time and giving their insight on the topic. I know that all students, they must have gained certain thing from you all judges. Dear students, as you are aware, participation is very important as compared to the result, and you will understand what all views you have given on the various topics which was given to you. It was excellent, and I have seen the score. It was really a tough time for the judges also to decide who is the winner and who is going to lose this competition here. It is the format of the competition, and I must have to announce the result. So I'm going with this result only. First of all, the score: APS Kanpur 146.5 and APS Srinagar scored 149.5. So it is prominent from the score only that APS Srinagar won the match. And never lose heart, APS Kanpur. You perform very well. One team has to win. So it is today the day for APS Srinagar. Congratulations to APS Srinagar team. Thank you, judges, dear students, teachers, and the entire team from APS Udhampur. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations to APS Srinagar. My heartiest congratulations to the principal APS Srinagar and the mentors of the team. APS Srinagar, looking forward to see you in the quarterfinals. I want to express my gratitude to our esteemed judges for graciously dedicating their time for their hectic schedules to be part of this show. Special thanks to our school technical team for their invaluable contribution in making this competition a success. Thank you all. Thank you so much. That's all from presentation side. Jai Hind.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay.
Thank you to all of our judges and as well as teachers for giving us the opportunity to represent our school in this year's ethics board. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We would like to appreciate how Team APS Kanpur put up their validation and arguments, and this is very appreciated.
We also appreciate the questions posed by the jury, and they were really insightful and opened the eyes for us.
Overall, we thank you all for such a wonderful and such a thought-provoking ethics board competition.